Welcome to Motorsports Reports. My name is Phil, and here are 5 things you need to know from this past weekend's Java House Grand Prix of Arlington for the NTT IndyCar Series. First and foremost is the winner, Kyle Kirkwood, for Andretti Global, getting his 5th street course win out of 6 wins that he's had in his career. Of course, he's won at Long Beach last year, won his first career race at Long Beach a few years ago, and now has won the first ever race on the streets of Arlington around the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers stadiums. It was a dominant day for the Andretti team in general, which we'll mention later, but for Kirkwood, he was able to pass the defending series champion, 2-time defending series champion, and 4 of the last 5 years in Alex Palou, with a great pass late in the race on lap 55 of 70 after a round of pit stops, giving Kirkwood and the Andretti team, the JM Bullion Honda team, the victory there. In terms of Andretti Global itself, that's point number 2. They finished 1, 3, and 4, with Will Power getting his first podium for a team that isn't Team Penske since 2008. That was with KV Racing back in those days, prior to getting hired by Penske. For Power, he started 4th, so he made the Fast 6, gave himself an opportunity. It was only 3.58 seconds behind his teammate at the end. Of course, the race ended under yellow, but for Power, after a kind of a struggle the first 2 races of the season, incident Phoenix late, and then struggles at St. Pete, he goes out there and gets that first podium, and he's in great spirits as they move forward. And then Marcus Ericsson, who was able to qualify on pole for this race. The Andretti team led 47 of the race's 70 laps. So it was a great performance by that organization to get 3 out of the top 4 in a day where Honda was able to get 6 out of the top 10 cars in the finish there. Alex Palou, of course, we mentioned him. He got past late and said he didn't have anything for Kirkwood. But for Palou, he recovers after a rare mistake at Phoenix and puts himself back into the points. Currently now 2nd as they move over to Barber in a couple of weeks' time. But the multi-time champion, the dominant presence in IndyCar, can win anywhere at any time. Had started 2nd in this race, was in position, had led. He tied with Kirkwood and Power for most laps. They all led 16 laps apiece in this race. Very action-packed race. But Palou is back in it the way he usually is, and only 26 points behind Kirkwood as they go to Barber. The mistakes by some veterans, talking about Palou's teammate, the great Sir Scott Dixon, crashed during the weekend. You had Power, who crashed into him. You also had Joseph Newgarden, who tubbed his number 2 car. Scott McLaughlin, who was one of the fastest cars in the racetrack and loved the circuit, made a huge mistake in qualifying and had to start at the rear. But for both of those guys, at least Dixon from 20th came up to 8th, and McLaughlin from 25th to 11th. So if McLaughlin had been able to qualify and had made that mistake, I think it would have been a different race for sure up front, because of the prowess he's shown on street courses over the years. And of course, he was fast at St. Petersburg as well a few weeks ago. Third, and then the last thing, and that also leads into the fact that there was only 2 yellows, and that was right at the end of the race, at a very challenging, rough circuit for this race to go green until the last couple of laps of the race. Shows the prowess of the IndyCar drivers. And after what was an active weekend with incidents that guys that generally wouldn't make mistakes did make mistakes. And then the last point is 3 different winners in 3 races so far to start this kind of hectic start to the season compared to usual IndyCar schedules. 3rd different points leader in 3 races as we move forward. So it looks like a wide open season and hopefully this continues as they go to the first permanent road course at Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama in a couple of weeks' time. But for this and all your motorsports news in terms of NASCAR, IndyCar, and other, please tune into Motorsports Reports, and also tune into the Gripster podcast that I do with my good buddy Josh, appearing on all podcast platforms.